Thought I would jump on a little bit early today and do my vertical live. I have a shoot coming up, so I'll talk to you a little bit about the shoot first. I mean later. But first off, the tip. The tip I thought of this morning, as usually, I like to give you guys a tip at the beginning of my daily vertical live. And the tip I have today is for directors. One of the best ways and one of the easiest ways to start directing is to work with a small cast and crew. And what I like to do, and what I've done in the past, and what I've been planning on doing again soon, is create a character driven drama. Now, I've been always drawn to those. As television series became more popular over the years, I guess since the early 90s, um, character driven dramas have really captivated me from an actor and director point of view, even an editor. I like the small stories. I like the human details, the investigation of characters, the revealing of character. It's so interesting for an actor to bring a character to life. It's interesting for the writer. It's interesting for the filmmaker and cast and crew. If it's done well, it's also interesting for the viewer, which obviously is the most important. Because if we don't have viewers watching our content, what's the point? You know, you can make small personal films, and I've made some in the past that no one's ever seen. Um, didn't find distribution, but I've made a lot of character-driven stories, and the character-driven stories are the ones that I connect with the most. And that's the thing I enjoy watching most with television. Actually, these days, I actually like television series better than I like, the big blockbuster. And a lot of people feel the same way. You can tell by the reviews and the amount of people watching the streaming services. But again, my point and my tip is if you're interested in writing, you're interested in directing, you're interested in acting, seriously investigate character driven dramas. They focus more on storytelling on a small scale. They focus more on uh, the character development, what drives people. And that's what connects us as viewers to the characters. That is what makes us connect to television shows. When we start to care about the characters, we start to uh, envision their lives and we relate to them. You even start to care about the characters who are per se the bad guys. You start to connect with all the characters in the show. And that's why shows become, think of The Sopranos, think of any popular drama that was based on characters. That's what makes it compelling. That's what makes it stick in people's minds as they watch it. And the beauty of it for independent and no budget filmmakers like myself, and probably a lot of you out here watching this, is that a character driven drama can be made with just your cell phone. I know I talk about a lot about independent films, making stuff with no budget, and that's the best way to learn because you don't have the pressure. And nowadays, you have the technology, you have the equipment right in your cell phone. You don't need, the truth of it is, you don't need the most fancy iPhone's obviously the best contender to shoot this stuff on. But if you don't have it, you can shoot with an Android. Especially if you're making a small, short, character-driven drama, and that's what I recommend starting with, because you don't have the pressure. You don't have all the things that in the early days when I started. I started with first I started with Super VHS, which was another cheap video format. But then I quickly moved on to Super 8 film. It was at the end of the days of Super 8 film. But even though the films that I made, a lot of the films that I made were horror or action, at the heart of it, at the heart of the film, it was a character-driven drama. Now I put those other elements in because my idea back then was to reach a wider audience. But the beauty of YouTube and the beauty to be able to get your projects out without any gatekeepers is something that's obviously didn't exist. Something that we as creators didn't have. So I recommend that. My tip is basically I'm going to make a more detailed video probably this week because I don't know. I woke up this morning and I started thinking more about character-driven dramas that I used to make. I guess because I'm watching some character-driven horror on Netflix right now. But and it doesn't have to be horror. It could just be a character study. I used to love those, and people have made those a lot. And that's something that you, as an independent filmmaker, as an independent director, as an independent actor, can easily be made. So that's something that you can do. There's nothing standing in your way to do that. So I recommend that if you want to build your skills as a director, you want to build your skills as an actor, you want to build your skills as an editor, investigate character-driven dramas. Even a writer, you want to be sharp, so you have to create. And like again, when I say a film, I'm not saying you have to make a feature film. You can make a 10-minute short, a 5-minute short, but that's my tip: work and create character-driven dramas. I'm going to read through quickly. I have prepared a list while I was thinking about talking with this. You want to start with a strong character. Don't worry about what kind of cameras you have. That's what I just mentioned. Don't worry about the gear. You want to start with strong characters that are compelling for some reason. Whatever the reason is, it can be a personal story. Start with compelling characters. Write about what you know. If there's something heavy on your mind at the moment, write about that. You don't have to use real people's names. Take a little issue and develop that into a small, short, character-driven drama. Keep the concept simple but deep. What I mean by that is it could be a simple story. There doesn't need to be a bunch of levels to it. Think about something that happened to you in one day or someone you know. If you watch the news, there's heart-wrenching stories every day that just take place in an hour, that take place in 45 minutes, a half an hour. So you can write a simple story with a beginning, middle, and end that happened to you or somebody else you know. Use everyday locations as story assets. You know, your house, your home, your backyard, your front yard. If you know someone who has a business, restaurant, bar, and they'll let you shoot in there for a couple of hours. Locations add credibility to the story that are outside of a home environment, something that people don't normally see. A simple story about someone going to work at a convenience store, beginning, middle, and end, character-driven drama. Direct for authenticity. Direct for authenticity. Let the characters be real. It doesn't have to be something about space invaders or, you know, the Russian mob or, you know, the cartel or the government. It doesn't have to be anything that's in the current day news. It could be a small story about a person trying to visit their dying grandmother and they don't have the money to buy the bus tickets. Simple, character-driven stories are powerful and can be powerful and can showcase your talent, can showcase your ability. And make them small. Start small. Start small. Build conflict through relationships. All story needs some kind of conflict, but it doesn't have to be life and death. It doesn't have to be someone's going to kill somebody, someone's going to stab someone. Conflict can be emotional conflict between a husband and wife. Maybe the husband feels neglected by the wife. Maybe the wife feels neglected by the husband. Maybe it's brother and sister, and the brother feels outshined by the success of his younger brother. Character-driven stories that are real. It doesn't have to be life and death stakes, but there has to be some type of conflict. All stories have some type of conflict. Even Three Little Pigs. Every story has some kind of conflict. Think of nursery rhymes. You know, take a nursery rhyme you knew when you were young that your mother would tell you, and convert that into a modern day tale, a character-driven drama. Sound and silence matter. So again, if you're shooting on your phone and you don't have fancy sound equipment, you see how close I am to the phone right now. When the characters are talking, you should have coverage where they're about, 10, what is this? 12, 14 inches away from the phone. And that just could be for the dialogue. You can even come close like this. You can even come closer for the dialogue shots. And that's going to allow your phone to pick up the voice better. Don't try to shoot the dialogue shots from all the way across the room. And the reason I'm giving these little tips is because I want you to not have roadblocks. I want you to not have obstacles. You can get around those obstacles and you can still shoot with just your phone. So edit for emotion, not perfection. Again, these are personal dramas. I knew a filmmaker years ago that would make these. He had a little larger budgets, but he made personal films, turned that into a career. The same thing can be done today, right here on YouTube. Um, I mentioned you guys a number of times. I've been planning to do more comedy here. I've been running into a few roadblocks trying to collaborate with people, but I'm going to keep trying. Um, I'm meeting today to do some music um, shooting for my channel. That's one thing I don't have. I plan to gather some artists and do individual profiles on some of the artists, emerging new artists. So that's something that I want to do here on the channel. I want to have a variety of stuff. And I'm going to talk about how I shot it, how I edited it, because that's what I talk about here, acting, directing, and editing. So that's just another avenue I'm going down. But again, the character-driven dramas, that's the tip for today. And the final point is don't look at limitations as a problem. Look at those limitations as creative fuel. That's something that I've done my whole career. I've always worked on lower budget projects. Ones I've initiated myself, ones I was hired on as work for hire. That's just turned out to be my lot in my creative life. And I get frustrated. I used to get frustrated, but I've always used the limitations that I was forced to use to boost my creativity, to force me to think, how can I still do this, but make it interesting? How can I still go forward and make a story that people can connect with? And that's the thing about character-driven dramas. Again, all the films that I've created, if you look me up on the Internet Movie Database, and you look at a lot of the B movies I've created, they've all been at the heart of it. If it was horror, comedy, drama, action, at the heart of it, character-driven dramas. That's what I focused on. That's what I always focused on. And I enjoy focusing on characters. I guess it's the actor in me that likes to give the characters a reason to live, a reason to be in this environment, a reason to keep going. So again, that's my tip for today. If you're looking for content and you want to create stuff, investigate character-driven dramas. Start small. Start small. Don't worry about making something big and extravagant. You can start small and grow from there. Okay, I will probably be back later on this afternoon. Like I said, I have a small shoot today, and I'm going to get that content together and get it up to you. It's music related. It's a whole new stream that I'm starting here on the channel, working with musicians, solo musicians, people with original content. So if it all goes smooth today, I'll have a couple of pieces to show you sometime this week, and I will put those up. I'm planning to put up some more shorts later on today, and just keeping it going forward. And if you haven't seen my stuff, please go to my channel. I would like you to watch some of my playlists. Go there and watch some of the content in my playlist. Even put it in the background and watch it. But just watch it. See if you like it. If you do, share it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. So go to my channel, watch some of my content. I'm really starting to slowly focus towards my watch hours because I'm closing in on my subscriber count that I need. And thanks to you, thanks to all of you guys out there who subscribed, I appreciate it. Continue to share my work. And if you have any questions, my email and everything is right down there. Please continue to send me those emails. I love answering questions. I'm always here. I had a great session on Sunday. I did a question and answer session last Sunday at noon, and I plan to do another one this coming Sunday at noon, Pacific time, California time. And if you're around, if you're available, please join me. So that's about it for this morning's live here in the Shorts feed. I love being in this short feed, getting in here, talking to you guys in the morning. Sorry I can't see your questions right now. I have you down in the chat, but I'm on my phone and I can't read it. I don't have my laptop open with the content for my stream. But again, thanks for watching. I thank everybody on here. Let me see if I can grab one person. Let me tilt up and look at this. No, but that really wasn't a question. But thanks for stopping by, everyone. I will see you probably later on this evening to let you know how the shoot went today once I back up all the content. So again, final thing, today's tip, get started with character-driven dramas. I'll see you in the next one.